Thanks guys, welcome to the Kingdom of Monaco. You can fly over the Kingdom of Monaco in about 14 seconds. There are 2,000 millionaires that live here and 50 billionaires. What a perfect place to launch the brand new Maserati Ghibli. So we have jumped inside the new Maserati Ghibli and we are driving the roads around Monte Carlo. Of course, you can only really drive inside Monte Carlo for about 30 seconds and then you're out. And I have Michael with me from Kelley Blue Book. First of all, thank you for taking the time to be on the video. So you have driven this new 2018 model year Ghibli. What do you feel? What's your gut tell you about this?
It's interesting because Maserati's not trying to take down the sports sedan marketplace. They're just trying to take a little piece of the pie. And it's a pretty big pie. And when they initially launched the Ghibli back in 2014, the engine was there, the chassis was there, but it just lacked a lot of the features that their Germans, were competing with. And it looks like, with the 2018 model, they've come through and they added a ton of safety equipment. They updated the headlights, and they've added all the content back that was missing. So it puts them on a level playing field competitively.
But different steering. How did you find the steering?
What the automaker has done is they've moved to an EPS, electronic power steering unit, and they do this for efficiency and also for all those electronic driver aids. You can with the stability control and the lane keep assist and the level 2 autonomous driving technology also. It's a little number than a traditional hydraulic system, but it's also one of those things that it's more accurate. And you've got some really sharpness to it.
Yeah, so. I think it's exactly what the car needs to be. It's a luxury car. I'm not sure it's a track car. It definitely doesn't go quite there, but it's perfect for the sporty luxury grand coupe style driving.
No, that's exactly right. I mean, I liken this similar to a BMW M550 or something. You know, it's not an M5, it's not an RS6, it's more of the S6. So it's dialed back from the abusive, I'm going to beat you to a pulp sports sedan, to the kind. I mean, we're driving around Monaco and Monte Carlo and really tight roads. Not once in 3 hours of driving have either of us complained about abused kidneys or anything. I mean,
no, and even sitting in the back, we both sat in the back.
Yeah, I mean, I sat in the back for almost 2 hours, and it was comfortable.
Under the hood, the meat and potatoes. V6 engine, Ferrari inspired. You have two different choices. 426 horsepower that does 0 to 60 miles an hour in under 5 seconds, or 345 horsepower, which to me is perfectly adequate. For the person that's buying this car, they're probably happy with the sound it makes. So I know the Ferrari, this engine comes from Ferrari DNA,
right?
And I want to hear more Ferrari in it, but that's probably not what they wanted to get out of it. But it is a 6 rather than an 8, so it does have more of a 6 sound to it. But I want gurgles.
I agree with you. I would like more of the Ferrari DNA to leak through.
And I guess it does have that in some of the driving dynamics, but they're again trying to find their own space in this vehicle. Ghibli gets a brand new front end for 2018, but the biggest portion of the technology is in the headlights. These headlights are able to stay on high beams even with oncoming traffic. They just black out that portion for the oncoming vehicle. They realized that if they didn't play in the same field as the Mercedes and the Audis of this world, they were going to lose customers big time. So all of those things like lane keeping assist and helping you position yourselves in the lane is all new for this model here, right?
What they were missing were the electronics. And that stuff's very sophisticated, but Maserati's got partners. They can reach in and they can pull from their technology. Also, it's interesting to talk about the infotainment system. Chrysler's Uconnect is one of my favorite systems on the market, and this is a reskinned version of Chrysler's Uconnect.
And I would agree with you. This Uconnect system, which I'm sure isn't called Uconnect in this car, is the best. To me, it's the best navigation system out there. for several reasons. I mean, it's fast, it's efficient, it's accurate, it's easy to use, it's programmable, so you can choose which buttons. And the fact that you display all of the buttons on the bottom of the screen and they're always there, so you can always get what you need to get. I love that portion of it.
Yeah, so many times you go into these infotainment systems and all of a sudden you find out you're in the climate setting, and you're trying to get in a nav, or you're in the setup segment and you're trying to get into the phone section. And this is nice because they're always there and they're always in the exact same space. And it reacts fast. It's touchscreen. You can pinch the nav to get in. You can pinch to get out. It's quick.
It's and easy to use, and it has a nice English accent.
Actually, I'm 6'2". I didn't have any problem in the back seat.
Me neither, although I could see that the legroom could get a little tight if you had a very tall person in the front seat. But again, this is more a 3 Series, 5 Series competitor, not a 7 Series.
I also noticed that you've got vents in the back. You can't really control the temperature, but you can control the flow. And this particular model's got heated rear seats and a rear screen.
They have this silk material in the car, which they're very proud of, and they have promoted multiple times with us during our time with Maserati. But initially, when you think about it, and I asked this question last night, silk sounds like a really bad idea in a car, but they have made it a good idea.
I believe they could be the first automaker to tout a silk upholstery.
And I asked that last night, and Klaus did say that he believes they're the first automaker, but they didn't say that because they say, you know, as soon as you say it, someone says, well, it's just 1960.
Now, of course, it does beg the question, we've been building cars for about 120 years or so. How come no one else has used silk?
There is a Gran Lusso and a Gran Sport, and Maserati believe that they will have a higher level of Gran Lusso sold. Those trim levels, to me, I like the Lusso better, but everybody likes anything sport, right, in the United States?
Yeah, it's interesting because they're not just doing interior, you know, tidbits where you have carbon fiber and things like that, but the exterior fascias, there's a difference between the two.
One has a frown, one has a smile. That's the best way.
That's probably a good way to look at it.
Yeah. So Ferrari and Fiat both have a Lusso, and they always tout that it's kind of a woman's purse. It's the same way. So the Lusso is more, I would say, luxury friendly, and the Sport is more kind of rough and, you know, Monte Carlo rally-esque. Let's talk about price finally. What do you think about starting price of 73? Do you think that's going to price them out of the market, or 78-ish for the 424 horsepower?
I think it's a very aggressive price. You have to look at the transaction price. You know, Kelly Blue Book, we see average transaction price. The average transaction price of a 5 Series is not $45,000. You know, you're talking $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. Same with an E-Class and an A6. The average in this car is going to start $73,000, $74,000, which is right in the meat of where they need to be. And if the dealers are, you know, intelligent enough to say, hey, you know, this is apples to apples here. You know, this is what you're going to spend on a 5 Series. Instead, you're going to get Italian leather, you're going to get Italian engineering, you're going to get a Ferrari-esque engine, and you're going to be different. And I think that's the biggest selling point of the Maserati, is it's not a cookie cutter clone of everything else on the road in North America right now. You see a 5 Series in Southern California, in New York, in Florida. You see 5 Series everywhere, E-Class everywhere, A6 everywhere. And what Maserati's offering is something different. And that's what I think sets them apart. And that's the key, because we're coming to a place right now where the big 3 German brands, they're all more or less making the same car.
And you know, you're right. You're absolutely right. And they have veins. Some have veins towards technology, others veins towards performance. But this is definitely a vein toward the beating heart, right?
Right.
This is about passion. Well, listen. Thank you for spending some time talking to me about the brand new Maserati Ghibli. If you own this brand, you're probably the only person in your neighborhood that's going to own one.
I would say you're the only person within 4 or 5 neighborhoods, and could be the only person in the country club, and that's going to get your front billing with the valets.
What's a country club?
What's a country built?
All right, well, we're going to sign off inside the tunnel.
It's in a very dark tunnel. I don't even think you can see us anymore.
Yeah, well, just we are the strange orange-colored silhouettes on your screen. For more, you can always go and read Michael's stuff at kellybluebook.com. You can subscribe at that little red button below at ourautoexpert.com or at testmiles.com. And we need to pay this guy royalties. So if you don't subscribe, his cats are going to go hungry.